We've all had moments where everything that could go wrong somehow does. The printer jams 5 minutes before a deadline. The file won't upload. The meeting link doesn't work. And someone inevitably sighs and says, "Well, what a snafu." It sounds almost playful, like a cartoon word. But snafu actually has a much darker and more serious origin. It wasn't born in an office, a sitcom, or on social media. It came out of the chaos of global war. And like many slang terms, it carries layers of frustration, sarcasm, and blunt honesty beneath its surface. Today, we're unpacking what snafu really means, where it came from, and how a piece of World War II military slang became part of everyday language. Right here, on History of Simple Things. Snafu is an acronym that stands for Situation Normal, All Fouled Up. Now, historically, the original version didn't use the word fouled. It used something stronger. Soldiers weren't known for soft language, especially during wartime. But in polite company and eventually in print, the toned-down version became standard. The phrase is deeply ironic. Situation normal suggests calm, stability, and routine. But when followed by all fouled up, it flips that expectation. The message becomes, chaos isn't unusual, it's the norm. In other words, dysfunction is business as usual. The term emerged during World War II among American military personnel. Soldiers used it as a sarcastic shorthand to describe bureaucratic confusion, supply chain disasters, miscommunications, and leadership blunders. It was a coping mechanism. When you're stationed thousands of kilometers from home in unpredictable conditions, humor becomes survival equipment, and snafu wasn't alone. World War II soldiers had a talent for creating sharp, memorable acronyms. Another famous example is FUBAR, meaning fouled up beyond all recognition. Again, a cleaned-up version of a stronger original phrase. These expressions reflected the reality of military life. Complex operations, unclear orders, broken equipment, and the constant fog of war. Interestingly, the U.S. Army didn't entirely discourage these slang terms. In fact, they sometimes embraced them. During the war, the United States Army even produced training and morale films that reference snafu. One of the most fascinating examples is a series of animated training films featuring a character literally named Private Snafu. These cartoons were created by Warner Brothers between 1943 and 1945. Yes, the same studio behind Bugs Bunny. The goal was to educate soldiers about security, hygiene, and military discipline, but in a way that actually held their attention. Private Snafu was portrayed as a clueless, overconfident soldier who ignored instructions and paid the price. Each episode demonstrated what not to do. By laughing at his mistakes, soldiers were reminded not to repeat them. It was propaganda, training, and entertainment rolled into one. So while snafu started as cynical slang, it quickly became embedded in official military culture. What makes snafu powerful is its realism. War is messy. Large organizations are messy. Human systems break down. Communication fails. Plans collide with reality. The phrase captured something soldiers deeply understood. Sometimes dysfunction isn't a rare disaster, it's the baseline condition. In massive wartime operations involving millions of people, supplies shipped across oceans, coded messages, mechanical equipment, and split-second decisions, mistakes were inevitable. Delays happened. Orders got scrambled. Equipment malfunctioned. And from the perspective of someone on the ground, it could feel like chaos was constant. Snafu became a shorthand way to express frustration without writing a full paragraph about it. It was sarcastic, blunt, and oddly comforting. If everything is a mess, at least you're not alone in noticing it. After World War II ended in 1945, millions of veterans returned home, and they didn't leave their vocabulary behind. Snafu slowly migrated from military slang into civilian speech. By the 1950s and 1960s, it began appearing in newspapers, novels, and casual conversation. Over time, the rougher edges softened. The word lost some of its wartime intensity and became more lighthearted. Today, when someone calls a situation a snafu, they usually mean a mix-up, a bureaucratic error, or a frustrating complication. It might involve paperwork, technology, travel plans, or workplace confusion. The stakes are usually much lower than wartime supply failures, but the feeling is the same. Interestingly, snafu is often used as a standalone noun, rather than an acronym people actively think about. Many people say it's a total snafu without even knowing what the letters stand for. The acronym became a word in its own right. That transformation from raw soldier slang to dictionary entry is a testament to how language evolves. One common misconception is that snafu is a modern internet term. It's not. It predates the digital age by decades. Its roots are firmly planted in the early 1940s. Another misunderstanding is that it was officially coined by military leadership. In reality, it originated organically among enlisted soldiers before being adopted in more formal contexts like the private snafu training films. Also, while it may sound harmless today, its original version contained profanity. The cleaned-up version helped it survive in mainstream language. Without that softer wording, it probably wouldn't appear in textbooks, news articles, or corporate emails. So what is a snafu? At its core, it's a sarcastic acknowledgement that things are messed up, and that this, somehow, is normal. It's a word born in wartime frustration during World War II, sharpened by soldiers navigating confusion and chaos, and later softened into everyday speech. What makes snafu fascinating isn't just its acronym. It's the attitude it carries. It reflects human resilience. When systems fail and plans unravel, people adapt, they joke, they create language that captures the absurdity of the moment. And decades later, we're still using that same word when our Wi-Fi drops or our flight gets delayed. From the battlefields of the 1940s to modern office mishaps, snafu reminds us of something oddly comforting. Life has always been a little disorganized, and sometimes the best response isn't panic. It's a knowing smile and a quiet, well, snafu. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.